Let's do this.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, look here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Daily Devotion with Beez. I'm your host, Beez the Chaplain. And as you can see, as you can look around, I'm not in my regular location. I'm not in my regular spot. I'm actually for this week and this week only, I guess, I'll be in Melbourne. So I've been invited to go and do a speaking appointment for a college in Melbourne. So that's where I am. So I'm in my hotel apartment suite at the moment. It's really nice. They've kind of set me up really nice here. But the only unfortunate thing is, I've had to kind of do a makeshift or I've tried to do the best with setting up with for the daily devotion setup. So unfortunately, the lighting here is not the best. So that's why I've got the rings around my glasses, because the backlight. But hey, God's good. He made a way. I was able to bring my gear and pack my stuff, so we can still do the devotion. So we can still come together and chat and just have just spend some time getting our day right, getting our week right. And once again, when I do these daily devotions, it started off for me as an accountability thing. It started off as a support thing, where we were praying together during like COVID last year and during lockdown and stuff like that. But more and more, I just felt that it was really beneficial for me. It was a real blessing to me for my life each and every morning, to kind of touch base and kind of really set my day right with God. So that's the reason why I kept doing daily devotions. And then the community that I've built with people, that God has built with people saying, hey, this has been great for me as well. It's also that accountability thing. It's just making sure that we're setting the day right with God and just giving a word of encouragement and a message. So though we don't have the nice setup, and the setup is mainly for the lights, and to get a good environment where it's clear and stuff like that. I don't have my USB or my setup, my stadium mic and all that kind of stuff. So, it's all about the getting it done. It's all about the intention, right? It's all about trying our hardest to kind of make sure that we're remaining consistent, because for me, when it comes to a good relationship with God, continuity and consistency is is the key things for me. So the topic of today's daily devotion is just calm down. Now, the reason why I wanted to kind of share that one as this, hey, Jono, good to see you, man. I haven't spoken to you in a while. I hope you're keeping well. I think it's because in Melbourne, maybe the location-wise, people are saying, oh, you might know him, or Beez is in Melbourne doing a daily devotion. Link up. So good to see you, Jono. Good to see you on the Insta. I guess that means all the Sydney-siders are still sleeping and they're not watching this devotion this morning, unless it's the faithful few, like my mum and my dad, and probably like a few other people. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to the topic. And the topic was just calm down. Now, have you ever been in an argument with someone, or you're not a fight, but you're having a discussion with someone and it's starting to get heated up, right? And you're starting to get emotionally driven and really emotionally invested. And then they notice that and they just say, or you're going through something, right? It doesn't even have to be between you and that person. You're just going through something, and all of a sudden, you're feeling it. You're emotionally driven. You're feeling overwhelmed. And all of a sudden you hear someone just say, oh, just calm down. Isn't that the most insensitive thing that you can hear? Isn't that the most kind of dismissive thing that you can hear, where someone just says, just calm down? There's a difference between, hey, it's okay, it's going to be okay, calm down. But when they add that just, it kind of belittles the entire situation that you're going through. And it's like the way that I receive it, it's like a response to say, hey, what you're going through, it's not a big deal. So get over it. So just calm down. And there's a particular person, and I don't know if you're going to watch this morning, but I'm going to send this to you, Eric, because I remember we were having a conversation, and I knew that was something that was bugging you. So I was just kind of, there were a couple of times where Eric is the chillest guy. This is my boy Eric. He's the chillest guy. You will never see this guy get angry, right? He's very level-headed. He's very like he's really laid back, great vibes, great, great relaxed guy. But one thing he hates is if someone tells him to, hey, just relax or just calm down. And one time we're having a conversation. And I was like, hey man, just calm down, just calm down. And then he's like, Beez. he made the physical, Beez, I will smash you. He's like, don't say that, bro. Like, do not tell me to calm down. And I saw this seriousness kind of wash across his face, and I was like, oh. But yeah, it's like one of those things that, like, even like obviously for me, it impacts you because it's like, who are you? Who are you to tell me to calm down? It's my situation. I believe, and the reason why I feel I'm borderline triggered on that statement, because it's like, oh, just calm down. That's a fire starter. Not even that statement starts fights. Fire starter, it'll torch someone. But yeah, let's go to Exodus. I'll put up the passage, and it's Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14. And I'm actually going to use a bit of this story for the message that I'm preaching today, but it's a different topic. So this one, the circumstances are, so the Israelites, the children of God, have been slaves for over 400 years to the Egyptians. Now, through Moses, through God speaking and using Moses as a vessel for his hope, Moses has now spoken to Pharaoh, who has released the Israelites. And now they're currently in the desert or escaping out of Egypt. Pharaoh's changed his mind. Now he's gotten a gang of chariots and horses and soldiers and stuff like that to come and retrieve the Israelites, to bring them back into Egypt and back into slavery, right? And so, and this is where they get to the part of the Red Sea. So there's an ocean in front of them this way, and there's a gang of soldiers and Pharaoh this way. And this is where the reality kicks in for the Israelites. And this is where I would say only God has the permission to add that word just. And I'll tell you why. Okay, here we go. In verse 13, I'll go from about verse 10. Just check the time. Yeah. And it says, and when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So they were very afraid. Obviously, they've been in slavery with the Egyptians for all of these years. They have a taste of freedom, and now they're getting drawn back, or they're getting brought back. And it says, so they were very afraid, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. Then they said to Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? That's the question that they asked Moses. It's like, there was not enough graves in Egypt, so you brought us out here for us to die? And then it says, why have you so dealt with us to bring us up out of Egypt? Is this is this not the word that we were told in Egypt, saying, let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. So their ultimatum now is either die in the wilderness or serve the Egyptians. And they say to Moses, it was better off for us to be servants to them and slaves to them, because now it's a lost cause. Like, there's no hope. They're seeing the circumstance around them. They're saying there's absolutely no hope. Then, as a response, this is the vessel of God right now. You know, he's the instrument of God. Moses, in his reply, he says, 13, and it says, and Moses said to the people, don't be afraid, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall see no more forever. You won't see him ever again. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Now, this is the NKJV. I read a commentary, and basically the direct translation, Moses speaks back to them as if not to tell them off, but he says to them, hey, just calm down. And I could just imagine that if an Israelite is saying, hey, Moses, you brought me out to die. I could have stayed a slave in Egypt, right? And I would have had a better life out there. But you brought me out here to die. The God that we're serving has brought us out here to die. And the response that Moses says is, hey, just calm down. Just calm down, right? If that was the thing that I got for the first part, I'll be fuming by now. But I would once again like to kind of share that if anyone could say, just calm down, right, it was God. God would be able to say, why? Because what that means is it's not so much belittling. Like, yeah, because someone can take it as belittling because it's like, you don't know the severity of the situation. You don't know the significance. You don't know the amount of hurt, pain, fear that I'm going through right now. So unless you have a plan, don't just tell me to calm down. Allow me to calm down. The only reason why I say God is the only one that can say just calm down is because God is greater than any circumstance. God, though you might feel overwhelmed, though you might not see a solution to the problem, God knows. And he says to me, just calm down. Why? Because I am God. I am bigger than any circumstance. I am bigger than any of the fears that you have. I am bigger than any of the troubles that you have. What I can do for you and what I can do in you is bigger than anything that you might be going through. And you saying, oh, I'm overwhelmed in all of these situations reflects a lack of trust and faith in me. So just calm down. Just remember who I am. Just believe that I am God. Just know that I will give you victory through this. And so with the way that Moses replies, though he's an instrument of God right now, though he's a vessel of God, I feel that in his response, he's speaking the words of God. He's saying, you need to trust more. You need to believe that even in this circumstance, I haven't brought you out here to die. I've brought you out here to show you who I am. I've brought you out here that even though in this moment you might lack faith, I'm going to display the power of God, not just for you, but to the Egyptians as well. And this is what he says. Sorry. It said, do not be afraid, for the Egyptians whom you see today, you'll never see them again. And the Lord said to Moses, why do you cry out to me? What's going on? Why are they panicking? What is happening? Right? Where was their faith? What's the deal? Why do you cry out to me? Tell the children of Israel to go forward. But lift up your rod and reach out, and there'll be dry ground over the sea, and you will divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and as a result of that, the Egyptians' hearts will be hardened. And they shall follow. So I'll gain honor over Pharaoh and over all his army, his chariots, and his horsemen. Then the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord. And when I have gained honor for myself over Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen, so I will gain the victory. And then it says, and I'll end it on this last verse, and it says this. And the angel of God who went before the camp of Israel moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud went from before them and stood behind them. So it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of the Israelites. Thus it was a cloud and darkness to one, and it gave light by night and the other, so that the one did not come near and the other all night. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. But let me just explain to you what God just did. He said two justs. Through Moses, he said, just calm down. And then he says to the Israelites, just move forward. That's where it becomes challenging, because in his response, he's like, just calm down. This panic mode, we were better off in Egypt as slaves rather than for you to bring us out here to die. You know, his response of just calm down already showed this understanding that it's like, okay, you guys don't have faith in me. You guys aren't trusting me right now. So just calm down and remind yourself of who I am. And then he says the second thing, and this is where it's challenging, because God says to Moses, hold out your stick and divide the sea. But before he does that, he tells them, he goes to the Israelites, or he goes to Moses to tell the Israelites, just go forward. That's another just. And that just is even more important, because it's like, just move forward into the water. Just move forward. But it takes faith. He's like, if you know that I'm there, if you trust that I'm there, you're going to move forward into that dry ground, and it will be dry ground for you. But you just need to trust me. You just need to be reminded that I'm God. You just need to know that I will have victory over the Egyptians and Pharaoh today. So for me, and that's what he does. That's what God does. He actually says, and this is what the circumstance is. And this is the impossible that becomes possible through God. The overwhelming circumstances of the Israelites is they see nothing but water. They are trapped. They see nothing but water on this side, and they see a gang of 600 chariots with horsemen and the army, Pharaoh's army, ready to take them back into slavery. So that is their circumstance. But in that, God says, just trust me. And what happens after that? He parts the Red Sea so there's dry ground. And then the pillar of smoke, the angel of protection, comes and stops them. So there's a massive wall blocking the Egyptian army from the Israelites. So all of a sudden, a lose-lose situation becomes a win and a win. And that's through God. But all God is saying is, you just need to trust me. You just need to rely on me. So I can just prove to you that the victory is found in me. So what's the situation that you're in this morning? What's the lose-lose situation that you're in, right? Obviously, if someone who had no solution comes up to you and says, just calm down, I give you permission to iron them out and then pray for them. I give you permission to say, hey, I don't think we should be friends during this season because you have absolutely no sensitivity towards my circumstance right now. But what I want to do, if you reach out to God and you're hearing him saying, just calm down, remember that is I guess a motivator for you to trust in him, so he can show you that, so he can say, just calm down and I will show you that victory is found in me. He's saying, hey, just give a moment, pause, be still, and see what I can do in this circumstance. See what I can do for you in this circumstance. See the victory that I can perform in, for, and through you in this circumstance. That's the challenge that I have today. For me, like, there are so many times that I'm stuck in between, this rock, the rock and a hard place, this problem and another problem. But what I'm hoping is that more and more each day, my reliance and trust and faith is built on God, right? So when he says, Beez, just trust me, or just walk through, because I can rely on that and I can trust in that. And I can have hope in that. If anyone's going through something, right, and I've just kind of ruined their day by just saying, just calm down, not my intention. That's not the purpose of this message this morning. What I am saying, though, is this is an invitation to just rely on God and allow him to perform the impossible in that circumstance. I would also say, if you're needing support in that space, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation about it, and let's let me be the Moses in the circumstance. Let me help you, right? Let me provide support, provide encouragement, provide what you need to help you get through this. But I'm going to leave it at that, because what I would like you to do, what I would love all of us to do, is to just trust God, to just rely on him. So, yeah, he can be evident in our lives. Pardon me. Let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for this morning, another day, another opportunity to connect with you, but also to be another chance to have faith in you and build our trust in you. And Lord, we will never live perfect lives. We will live our lives of trouble and struggles and challenges and obstacles, Lord. But even though there may be times where we may feel overwhelmed in those struggles, Lord, I pray that you can tell us to just calm down, so we can just rely on you. We can just trust in you once again, that our faith and hope can be built on you once more. So you can help us during those times, so we can see victory found in you. Lord, I pray for every head that's bowed and everyone who may be listening to this message now or later on today. I hope it is a blessing to them, a word of encouragement and a word of hope for them, so it leads them closer into a relationship with you and a deeper trust in you as well. Be with us now. I ask this all in your loving name. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for Daily Devotion with Beez on Instagram Live, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube Live. Coming to you live from Melbourne. Melis, I'll be here for this week. So this is the setup. I'll try and improve it, but I'm kind of happy with it now. Apart from the rings around the lights, oh well, what you can do, what you can do. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I got to head over now. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Have a blessed day. See you tomorrow, same time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace out. Much love. Bye. How do I turn this off?